Hello everyone, I hope you're doing okay. Today we have the second lesson for Unit 9. Last lesson we talked about the means of transportation and also about ways of asking people how to get to different places. Today we're going to continue talking about means of transportation and we're going to study a very important grammar subject which is called comparatives and superlatives. Okay? Let's start. Here we have the first activity. It's as king of the road. Look at the picture of Joe Marshall. We have Joe Marshall here, right? This is Joe Marshall. Why do you think he rides a unicycle to work? So, he's riding a unicycle, a bicycle, with just one wheel, right? And he's riding it to work. Why do you think he does that? Here we have some possible reasons why he might be riding a unicycle to work every single day. He enjoys it. It's quick and safe. He likes people looking at him. It's good exercise. It's good in traffic jams. And it's cheap. Maybe, and these are just maybe examples, right, of reasons why he decides to ride his unicycle. We're going to read the text and then we're going to find out, okay? So, here you have the reading. You can pause the video now and read the text. Look for reasons why he decides to ride this very particular means of transport to work every single day. Okay, so let's check. Number one says, he enjoys it. Do you think he enjoys it? Yes, right? He says that it's fun, that it's like playing on the way to work. It's quick and safe. Yes. He says that it's quicker than going by car, right? And he also says that unicycles are safer than they look. He likes people looking at him. Is that correct? Maybe, right? Not all the time because he does get some comments, negative comments, right? So, but he doesn't care, I think. It's good exercise. True, right? It's good exercise. Imagine riding 50 minutes to work every single day, back and forth, right? That must be, right? A good way of exercising. It's good in traffic jams, right? Yes, it fits into small spaces. So you don't have to wait if there's a traffic jam. You can go on the side, right? And it's cheap. More than that, it's free. You only need your body to ride it. Good. Now let's see. Read the article again and who thinks unicycles are fun, dangerous, dangerous or stupid? So, do you think unicycles are fun, dangerous, or just stupid? What do you think of Joe's form of transport? Would you use or would you ride a unicycle to university maybe? Maybe. Let's see. Now, let's continue. As I told you before, we're going to be talking about comparatives and superlatives. And this is very common topic at schools, so I think you might have a good idea of what we are talking about. If not, don't worry, we're going to be talking in deep, right? In our next online lesson, okay? So If you still have questions, you can write them, right? And you can ask me next Monday. So don't worry. It says, read the second paragraph again and answer these questions. What's quicker than a unicycle? What's slower than a unicycle? And what's the best form of transport when there's a lot of traffic? If you know the answers, you can write them down, but we are going to read the second paragraph again just in case. It says, it takes Joe 50 minutes to travel the 9-mile journey across London by unicycle. That's about the same as it takes on the bus or the underground and 10 minutes quicker than by car. Unicycles are slower than bicycles or bikes, he says, but they're the best thing in traffic jams because you can turn in a really small space. It's great exercise too because you can't stop moving. I have to jump up and down at traffic lights. So, what's quicker than a unicycle? Here it says, unicycles are slower than bikes. So bikes are quicker than unicycles. Number 1. Yes? Number 2. What is slower than a unicycle? Unicycles are quicker than cars. So cars are slower than unicycles. Yes? What is slower than unicycle? A car. And what is the best form of transport when there's a lot of traffic? Unicycles are the best thing in traffic jams because you can turn in a really small space, right? Here we have questions that are asking about comparison and superlative expressions. We have the word quicker, slower, and the best. We compare things based on a criteria, un criterio. In this case, we use adjectives to compare two different items. Yes? In this case, for example, we say bicycles are quicker than unicycles. We have two means of transportation, bicycles and unicycles, and we compare them using an adjective, quick. Yes? For superlatives, what we do is that we highlight something that is bigger than the rest of all things. That is why we use the word super, right? Superlative, right? The best form of transport of all transport is unicycle. Yes? Lo más, lo máximo. That is why we use superlatives to talk about things that are above the rest. Okay? And we have, of course, different rules for different types of adjectives. Here we have 4 categories of adjectives, right? And I'm going to teach you how to classify them. So, in the first case, we have adjectives with just one syllable. For example, quick, safe, long. Can you think of more examples? Short, tall, fast. Yes? Other examples. So, one syllable adjectives. For comparisons, when we compare them, what we're going to do is at the end of the adjective, we're going to include the ER ending. So you can see here we have long and longer. For the adjective quick, it would be, of course, quicker and safer. Yes, that's the rule. Quicker and safer for one syllable adjectives. Now, for superlatives, we have the same rule or very similar, but instead of being ER, we use EST. And, very important, pay attention, when we talk about superlatives, we always include the article the in all cases. Yes, every single time. This is very important for you to understand. Okay, so we said that for comparatives we use ER, for superlatives we use EST. The quickest, the safest, the longest. Yes, the quickest, the safest, and the longest. Now, when we have adjectives with 2 syllables or more, we're going to have a different rule. Here we have examples: careful, crowded, dangerous, interesting, powerful, beautiful are other examples. For comparative form, we are not going to change the adjective. If you look at here, we are not going to change the adjective, but we're going to include the word more before the adjective. For example, more careful. Here we have more careful, more crowded, and of course, more dangerous. More careful, more crowded, more dangerous. In this case, for superlatives, the rule is similar, but instead of using the word more, we use the word most. Yes, the most, el más, the most careful, the most crowded, and the most dangerous, the most dangerous. Okay? Next one. For words that have 2 syllables, but they end in Y, like the word easy, we are going to include IER at the end. Very similar like the first case, but instead of ER is IER. We don't include the word more. We don't say more easy. We say easier. Yes, just easier. And the other case, we say the easiest, right? Very similar, but just ST, the easiest. Now, we also, as always, have irregular adjectives, adjectives that change all the time, right? Here we have good, bad, and far. These are some examples. The comparative form of good is better, and the superlative way is the most common one, is best. The best. Bad, worse, and the worst. Far, farther, and the farthest. I'm going to leave you some links on the Aula Virtual so you can keep practicing, and we're going to do more exercises on our online session. Okay? Let's continue. Now, here we have an activity that I want you to do as a homework. Okay? We're going to check this on our online session. So it says, what are the comparative and superlative form of these adjectives? Use the table to help you. We have the word cheap, busy, clean, expensive, interesting, nice, and comfortable. Classify these words and write the superlative and the comparative form of each adjective. Yes? And you're going to practice this part of the activity as well, because we're going to check it on our online session. Here we have 5 different conversations, right? And if you pay attention, we have highlighted adjectives in there. Let's read number 1. It says, how can I get into town? Well, you could get a bus, but it's easier to walk. Simple, right? Here we have comparative form, easier. It is easier to walk. What I want you to do is to try to practice this conversation again by using instead the adjectives that you have in brackets. So let's read it again. How can I get into town? Well, you could get a bus, but it is more interesting to walk. See? We changed the word easy for interesting and we adapted using the word more interesting. I want you to do the same with all conversations and all adjectives in brackets. Okay? This is a homework, remember. Now, the last part of the unit, or of this session, right? It's about prepositions of movement. Prepositions of movement. You might be asking, Miss, what is a preposition of movement? Well, it's a word that indicates the movement of something, basically. Now, what's important? Prepositions of movement indicate movement direction. Yes, that's something important. What did I do? Movement or direction. And they are used after a verb of motion. After a verb of motion. Después de un verbo de movimiento. Examples of verbs of motion, very common. Walk, run, jump, drive. What else? Verbs of motion, right? That indicate that something is moving. So prepositions of movement are used after a verb of motion. Let's see some examples of prepositions of movement. What I want you to do is to read. This is a description of Yanis, a journey that Yanis does that she likes. Okay? So this is a description of a journey, right? What I want you to do is to pause the video, read the description, and match all the prepositions of movement to the images below. Okay? Pause the video and do the exercise. Are you ready? So let's check. We have the first one. From and to. They gonna go together and these are represented by images G and H, right? From my house to the shopping area. From a place, right? From point A to point B. To is the most common preposition of movement and indicates direction. Then we have out of. Where is out of? Of course, A. Very good. Out of. Number 4, across. Across, F, right? Across the street in this case. Across the street. Down, I go down some steps. D. Down, right? Into a quiet park. C. Into. You get into a place, a closed place in this case, right? Then we have through, a través in Spanish. Through, B. Through a large park. And then I go up some steps. E. These are the most common prepositions of movement, but we're going to see more examples in the next lesson. Okay? Now, do exercise number 3 if you want, and you can send the answer to my email. Okay? I'm going to be receiving your homework if you want me to check it. It says, write a short description of a journey you like, of course, using prepositions of movement. Okay, so you can send me the homework to my personal email and I'm going to be giving you feedback. This is all for today. If you have questions, ask me or wait until next Monday because we're going to have our online session to answer your questions. See you in the next video. Bye bye.